I was lucky to play in two very good Tottenham teams. In the early 80s, we won 2 FA Cups and the UEFA Cup with a team who had Ossie Ardiles, Steve Archibald, Ray Clemence, Garth Crooks and Steve Perryman. Then the 1986-87 side, under David Pleat, who had Clive Allen and Chris Waddle, could overwhelm teams at times but were sadly beaten in an FA Cup final and came third in the league. After I had left, Terry Venables' team had Paul Gascoigne and Gary Lineker and won the FA Cup in 1991. But I can honestly say I can't remember a time when it's been more exciting to be a Tottenham fan. And while I can't quite yet say this is the best side I can recall, this is the best balanced team Tottenham have had probably since that famous League and Cup double-winning side in 1961. Tottenham's players celebrate the historic League and Cup double during the 1960-61 season to be the greatest Spurs side since then. The current crop will need to win some trophies to be the greatest since 1961. They will need some trophies. But when they play like they did last week against Manchester United, it's hard not to believe that will come. There have been some Tottenham sides in the past who had wonderful qualities in attack but maybe were a little uncertain defensively. That's just not the case with Tottenham now. The victory over United was an excellent attacking performance and Spurs probably should have scored 4 or 5. But Jan Vertonghen and Davinson Sanchez were also outstanding. Don't forget they are a team missing arguably their best defender in Toby Alderweireld, have sold Kyle Walker and have been missing Danny Rose. Yet fullbacks like Kieran Trippier and Ben Davies come in and do wonderfully well. United may have conceded 4 goals fewer than them this season, but manager Jose Mourinho has done it by sacrificing attacking play. His rival at Tottenham, Mauricio Pochettino, has never done that and still has one of the best defences in the league. Tottenham must keep striker Harry Kane and boss Mauricio Pochettino for at least 2 years of course. This is a crucial batch of games for Pochettino, which will define how the last quarter of the season goes. Tottenham could be going into the latter stages of the Champions League, pushing to win the FA Cup and chasing down United for second place in the Premier League. Beating them was a fine start to an interesting run, with Liverpool on Sunday followed by the FA Cup replay against Newport, Arsenal in the Premier League and then Juventus in the Champions League. I hope the FA Cup does become a priority. It's a great chance to win a trophy, which is what this team need. And they would get home games in the semi-final and final. I know how much our FA Cup win in 1981 meant. It gave us confidence to be on the big stage and win again in 1982. We were a few minutes away from winning the League Cup that year too, losing to Liverpool in extra time. We then won the UEFA Cup in 1984 and went close in the league in 1985. It all stemmed from a cup win, which broke the mental barrier. There's more assurance about you once you've won a cup. Not arrogance, but just a sense of how to get the job done. At the moment, there's still that slight doubt for these players. And this team need the cup to keep the momentum. There is still that worry for me that the cost of the new stadium might lead to compromises in keeping players or signing new recruits. Lucas Moura looks a great addition for £23 million and Tottenham do now have a growing squad to ensure that they play at 9/10, even when a few players are out. Pochettino's side, who sit 5th in the table, travel to Anfield to take on Liverpool on Sunday, but they need to keep them, not least Harry Kane and the manager. I'm sure Harry will be offered a deal commensurate with his value, because you cannot be intimating that he's a £200 million player, which is the bracket he's putting himself in, and pay him what is he on now. His salary will have to reflect the performances that he's delivering and the global attention he's attracting. What Tottenham need is at least 2 years from Harry and Mauricio. 2 more years, to take them into the stadium. Of course, there may come a day when one or both of them leave. But I'm hoping it's not now. They're both very committed to Tottenham and this project. While they would expect to be paid the market price, neither is motivated primarily by money. They're building something special. Give it 2 more years and see it through. And who knows? By then, Tottenham might be competing at an even higher level and have accumulated a few trophies. It's going to be hard. Manchester City look like they might dominate the next few years. But playing like they did last Wednesday, Tottenham look so well positioned to be one of the major threats. Signing Alexis Sanchez is a start, but just how much ground Manchester United have to make up on Manchester City was clear for all to see at Wembley on Wednesday. They need to strengthen at the back and in midfield, and they need Romelu Lukaku to work harder. Most of all though, they need to find the right position for Paul Pogba. There are moments of brilliance, but playing him as one of the two sitting midfielders isn't using his ability, even when he has license to get forward. Pogba needs to start 10 yards further ahead, maybe with another player linking with a centre-forward. Manchester United must make sure they find the right position for midfielder Paul Pogba. United are going to have to spend big again in the summer, even having got Sanchez. But they also need to get the best out of their existing players if they're to begin closing that gap. What a week for Jordan HODDLE as he left Preston to sign for West Ham. I first met him at 18 when I had my academy down in Andalusia, Spain, for what were effectively waifs and strays of the professional game. We picked up teenagers rejected by pro sides and tried to get them back in the game. Derby's Ike Chianya was there. Sam Lucas too, and I enjoyed watching his goals against Arsenal in midweek. But Jordan had actually never been rejected. He had been playing in the Westside League and Northern League and had no professional background. At 18, though, he looked as physical and strong as he does now. We threw him into his first training session, and he just bossed people immediately. I always believed he could be a good championship player, but he's surpassed even my high expectations. I'm delighted for him.